Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Be Heal Web Show. I am your host, Camille R. Perry. This is our Be Heal Tuesday night web show, as we do every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And I'm so happy that you have joined us on tonight. You probably wonder, like, Camille, you got a lot of blue on tonight. I'm going to tell you about the blue and white. Just give me a moment. But let's do a little housekeeping for a second. A couple things that are happening. Next week starts the 8-week series of The Power of Vulnerability. I am so excited. This is something that we started last year, dealing with men. And so for the next 8 weeks, starting October 5th to the end of November, technically it's almost 9 weeks, but we're going to be talking to men specifically regarding the power of vulnerability, dealing in areas like faith, family, finances, and failure. But we have some amazing guests lined up, all for the month of October and November. And so I definitely want you to tune in. The reason why I'm dedicating this time frame to the men for power of vulnerability is that it was around this time last year that we started trying to keep with the tradition, but as well as I hear sometimes people like, I don't know if the show is for women, if it's for men. I'm like, it's for everybody. 8 to 80, blind, crippled, crazy. You know the saying. But it's for everyone, male or female. This is a place where you belong. Okay. So I'm really excited. Join us next week. My guest will be Darnell Bing, Dr. Darnell Bing, and he's going to, I think his topic is like loosen up, tough guy. It's going to be good. So if you have a gentleman, a son, a father, a friend that you want to tune in, because oftentimes it's a misconception that men won't speak, that men don't talk, men don't communicate. That's not true in all cases. All right. So we're going to talk about power of vulnerability. But on tonight, where you all are tuning in right now, I'm so happy that you're here with us. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and share it. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you don't miss any episodes, or even want to just look back to see some of the previous episodes that we've had here at Be Healed. My guest tonight is the one and the only phenomenal Pacific Regional Director in the person of Madam Zakkiyyah Nazeeh. I've had the pleasure of working with her, serving with her in the capacity of regional tech coordinator. So making sure that her PowerPoints and different things are looking good, as well as just, I was her chauffeur for one of our San Diego events. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But got a chance to really get to know this phenomenal woman. So I'm honored, I'm privileged to have her. And so she's been a Zeta for 25 years. She's a proud retiree, but before she entered retirement, she served in social work. Because if you know anything about Zetas, we are called to scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. That's it. That's all. That's what we do. Okay. Because that encompasses everything about life. And so Madam Nazeeh, she is a mother. She's a grandmother. She's a phenomenal sister and friend. And when she isn't serving, whether in her former occupation as social worker, working in corrections and probations, now she's in full service, assisting those that are elderly, those that are in need, they're kind of living on the margins. She dedicates her life to that, as well as she is a chef on her own accord. Woman, chef, bake, cook, clean, you name it, she can do it. But as well as the fact that she is a proud Chicago stepper. Okay, if you want to see her, you put some music on, and she's gonna be out there cutting the rug. But I'm so happy that she's with us on tonight. So let me go ahead and bring her in. Thank you, Sissy. I'm so happy to welcome in Madam Zakkiyyah Nazeeh.
Well, good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. I'm just so excited for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I have to. I love you.
Thank you.
And so, tonight you said you want to talk about the changes in your life. And I think that's something that is a mouthful on its own, But what type of changes would you, that you've experienced that you would like to share on tonight?
Well, let's start talking about when I was younger.
Okay.
Okay. And so I am the oldest of six siblings.
Awesome.
And my big brother lives in Mississippi, and my sister also lives in Mississippi.
Mm.
And my youngest brother lives with me. We have lost two of my brothers. And so we, it's just so exciting. But I, everybody think I was born in California because when I went to school,
Hmm.
everybody knew my grades because my social security number started with 32.
Oh.
And so, that was exciting. But my parents, the way I got to California, uh, Chicago, was that my family was en route to Chicago because my dad had a job at Reynolds Aluminum.
Oh, okay.
And so we were en route, but mom had to stop to have me. So I was born in Mercy Hospital in Sacramento. And after that time, then we continued to move on to Chicago.
Awesome.
So when
Awesome.
I talk about changes in my life, we lived on the south side, the very, very south side of Chicago. And we lived in the Robert Taylor apartments, which are 17-story high rise buildings.
Wow.
And living in that environment, you create systems for yourself that may not be the best way to live
Okay.
or the best way to experience what you're doing. Going to high school, going to grammar school, and all of those things, and just being able to be in this environment of, I don't know what you want to call it. The 17 stories, people were a family. We took care of each other and
Hmm.
took care of children. And I remember when the snow got so high that the trucks couldn't get to the grocery stores, that a bunch of us would go and open up the trucks and take the food and the bread and the meat to the families that had lots of children in the projects. And just because the truck driver said, I can't move, it's right here, y'all come get it, and
Wow.
being able to provide those services.
Hmm.
But also living in that environment for myself, you take on behaviors
Mm.
not conducive to exactly who you are.
Okay.
And I think as I moved through my lifetime, I knew that there had to be a change. And I knew that my first change was that the world was larger than the Robert Taylor apartments. And
Yes.
so I was on the bus one day and I drove and I was looking out of the window and there was a sign that said, Uncle Sam wants you. I jumped off the bus and I ran into the recruitment office and I said, okay, I'm ready to go. And
Hmm.
he says, well, you got to graduate first. And there's some things that you got to do. But I knew that my world was larger than that. And so that change, moving into the military, learning different people. I had never lived with women who didn't look like me or whose hair was not like me or their
Okay.
language wasn't like the one that I had. And so I had to learn that they put us in rooms together, I guess, so that we could learn each other.
Mm.
And so my life began to change from there. And I learned new things. I'm a Vietnam veteran and I worked in the emergency room. They used to call me Switchblade Annie because I was really good with a straight edge. And that was
Oh,
one of the habits that I learned growing up in Chicago, how to use, straight edge. And I say that because when I was in the emergency room, one of my roommates was in a car accident and they brought her into the emergency room. And I knew who she was because she had this long, red, beautiful hair.
mhm. Yeah.
And I had to prep her in order to get to St. Louis so that she could have her brain tap and hopefully get the fluid off. And I remembered having my straight edge on my side, and I just grabbed her hair and I just had to cut that hair so we could prepare her and
Mm.
hopefully to get her to St. Louis Hospital so that they would do service. Well, we lost her.
Wow.
And I felt so, so sad. And I looked and I just always thought, what if there was a second before, or there was a minute before we could have gotten her and maybe saved her life.
Yeah.
But one of the changes that I understood at that point is that God is the best planner of all things.
Talk about it.
And people are in our lives for a season.
Yes.
And I think she being in my life, she taught me a lot about her Jewish culture,
Mm-hmm.
the foods that they ate, the traditions, the religion, and the values that they had. And
Mm.
so, we talk about my own change and looking at my steps, my new steps, and definitely looking at how my life changed in those 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I came out of the military and I stayed in Sacramento, and I was going to go to nursing school. And back then, in those days, it was very, very difficult for women of color
Yeah.
to get into nursing school. So I thought, well, okay, what the heck? What else can I do? And I went to college and I studied corrections and social work. And I was really excited about that because now I could help people change their lives.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I totally focused on women because in certain situations, women have the idea that they can't get out of their situation. And I had a message for them. I'm like, yes, you can.
Yeah.
First of all, you got to love yourself.
Yes.
And once you love yourself, then any kind of changes can happen for you. And so I began to love me more
That's right.
and to begin to move what I'm feeling to some of the other women that I work with.
I love that. So I'm okay. You had me at Switchblade. So I was so tickled because I was like, I think people need to. I hope somebody's listening. You don't want to run up on Madam RD. Just announce yourself. Announce yourself. But I love what you said regarding understanding as a child that the world is bigger than your current living situation.
Yes,
That is nugget one.
yes.
Understanding that my current visual sphere doesn't mean that's all the world is. Then
Hmm.
you mentioned about going into the military, serving in the armed forces as Air Force, being able to assist, but also how the skills that you learned growing up blessed you in that area where because you were quick with that switchblade.
Yes,
So
quick.
had you not experienced that, you wouldn't have been so effective in this place.
Yes,
And then you're saying that you had a message of change for someone else, letting them know that they don't have to stay in the same
that's
state
right.
that they're in.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
huge.
Yeah. I worked in so many environments, and I always tried to stay with women.
Mhm.
And I ran a program in San Mateo County called Hope House.
Oh yeah.
And this was a program for women coming out of San Mateo County Jail with their children in dual diagnosis.
Mhm.
And one of the women that was in that program, her sobriety birthday is coming up in November.
Okay.
And I'm thinking it's almost 30 years of sobriety. And
Wow.
she always calls me and say, if it wasn't for you, I
Mhm.
don't know where I would be. And I would always tell her, see, it wasn't me.
Right.
It
Right.
was
Right.
you, and it was the power within you to
Mhm.
know that you could change.
Yeah.
And so, that's truly, truly a blessing because she calls me every year, Zakkiyyah, I made another year. I made another year. And I get so excited because I was able to help her
Mhm.
know that the situation that you're in right now doesn't have to be the one that you'll always be in.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so,
Yes.
it's just really, really important for women to know that, to
Yeah.
understand that whatever situation that you're in, you can really get out of it.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that we are our sister's keepers. I don't care where the sister is, because one thing for sure, if you need diapers and if you need formula, that friend's going to come knocking and she's going to bring it for you.
Right.
And we are there to keep each other safe. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's something that we hear and we see as hashtags, my sister's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
We hear and we see the movement about women's sport, but when you really mean it,
Mm-hmm.
when it's not just supporting the women that you like,
Right.
or it's not just supporting being a sister's keeper for the ones that look like you, are from the same economic status, or it's when you really mean my sister's keeper. It's that lady on the street that might be wayward.
Mm-hmm.
It might be someone who you've been bumping heads with at the job, but you see
That's
that
right.
she's challenged with something, or it could be internal strife, even in your own family dynamic. You still are concerned. We are to be concerned about one another. And
That's right.
I think that's something, and I see why you picked the best sorority in all the land
That's right.
to
That's
serve, because truly sisterhood is something that has to be revisited often. We have to revisit that. But what would you say if you were to define sisterhood for you? What does sisterhood mean for you?
Sisterhood means to me a trust, a likeness, and an understanding of who we are.
Yeah.
We all have different personalities, different idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
We dress different, we look different. But when it comes down to the point of sitting down and saying, hey, I got you,
Yeah.
I'm holding on to you. Let me know when you need me to let go.
Yeah.
Because when you have gotten the strength to let go, then my work is done.
Yeah.
So sisterhood is the togetherness that we come together, we share, we're excited about what we do together, and we touch each other so that we could go out and touch somebody else.
Yeah.
And that sisterhood is just, it's a phenomenal force that's
Yeah.
to be reckoned with, because when we come together, nothing can stop us in anything that we do. And I just thoroughly believe that we, as sisters, biological sisters, any kind of label you want to put on sister, we're a strong force to be reckoned with. And look, don't be messing with my sister, because I'm coming out.
Right. I'm like, y'all don't want to see that switchblade, okay?
So you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that piece, because I'm gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? But it's an incredible force, and I think that sisterhood. We say it, but I want us to start believing it. And I tell you, this COVID-19 pandemic
Yeah.
has really placed us in a position to take care of each other,
Yes.
to call each other, to send a note to someone you haven't talked to or heard from in a very long time. Doesn't have to say a bunch. I'm thinking about you today. Put a stamp on it and send it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can do an email and we can do a text message, but when you go to the mailbox and someone has sent you a handwritten note, I
Oh
tell
yeah.
you, that's something that sparks the glow in your heart, that
It does.
somebody's thinking about me today. And that's sisterhood to me.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I've been recipient of receiving those handwritten notes from you and Sora Westbrook and different ones, especially even when I got ill. The calls, the texts, the ones, and some that aren't even, Zeta, because I think that's something that when you mentioned about sisterhood, it's just not relegated to blue and white. It's not just relegated to a organization. It's a collective. It's how you view life. And
Mhm.
I thank God for the women I have met in Zetadom, because it just adds to the fold of
Mhm.
sisters that I know.
Yeah.
It just adds to it. Doesn't take anything away, just adds to it. And so I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned about the COVID-19 and how it has caused us and charged us to think different. To do, and you always say you're doing business with a different twist.
Yes.
Have you felt um that strain, that what they call compassion fatigue, the COVID fatigue that has kind of stricken us in various ways? Have you felt yourself being a part of that?
I haven't, because I'm going to tell you why. Um, because I reach out, and so I don't get fatigued. And so when I reach out to someone else, that regenerates my battery.
That's good.
So I don't get fatigued. And if I do get fatigued, then I go into the kitchen and I cook something or I bake something. Although I don't eat all of it, it's the idea. And then I share it with my neighbor down the street. And then that helps me to feel better. I dance. I get in my room, this room here, and I put on my stepping music and I step.
Yes.
And it just gives me a sense of relief. But I want to share something with you that's really important to me. My daughter became very ill a few months ago, and having to travel back and forth and being with her and making sure that I was an advocate for her in the hospital, because one of the things that we should remember is that we need to advocate for each other,
Yes.
especially in these medical facilities, because they won't tell you what they're doing unless somebody asks the question,
Mhm.
and then they want to disrespect you. And I
Oh,
had
yeah.
to, I had to step out of I didn't have my colors on, so I could step
I
out.
was about to say, did you have your letters on?
I could step out and have to advocate for her.
Yeah.
And I had a situation where the social worker came in, you know, and she was talking to the lamp or something. And my daughter was there and I was there. And I said, "Excuse me, are you talking to us?"
Wow.
"Oh, yes, I said, "Well, then you need to call our name, call my daughter's name, because she's your patient." And to my surprise, that social worker did not realize that she was doing that.
Wow.
It's like every patient is the same. There's no itemization when you come into another patient's room. And so I had to advocate for her. I had to make sure that she was getting the best service that she could. And with that, this is I got a little saying for you
Okay.
that helped me through all of this. And so this is my morning mantra. God always has something for you.
Yes.
A key for every problem, a light for every shadow,
Mhm.
a relief for every sorrow, and a plan for every tomorrow.
All
And
right.
I say, good morning, Zakkiyyah. And
Yes.
I just think that those words,
Mhm.
they give me the faith and the hope and the excitement of
Yeah.
seeing another day.
Yeah.
And 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 I
Can you
just
say that again? I want to
okay.
take it all in. The matter of fact, let me get my pen. I want to write that one
I'll
down.
send it to you.
Okay, but
But
just
it's
one more
God.
time for the people. There we go. All right, I'm
Okay.
ready.
God always has something for you.
Hmm.
A key for every problem,
Yes.
a light for every sorrow, a relief for every shadow, and a plan for every tomorrow.
Yes.
So, if I live by these words and they keep me going and it keeps me happy, and I sit down and I just say, thank you, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, and I move through my day. So
Yes.
that's truly, truly a blessing.
Yeah. So many are. I'm seeing in the chat. So many saying we needed that. Amen. All right. I love how you and even Sora Brown is saying God has always has something for you. Last night, our chapter we have Phi Theta Zeta chapter. We actually have a Bible study, and
Mm.
Sora Deidre Norville, she shared we're doing this book Bible in 52 weeks, and she shared on purpose. And she was talking about purpose and how God always has a purpose for us. And when your mantra reminds me of that no matter what happens in that day, in that 24-hour grace that we're receiving, God has something for us. He has
That's
that,
right.
that key to that problem.
That's
And how
right.
many, and I thought immediately about answer keys back in the day when getting ready to take a test and you see the answer key, but
That's
thank
right. That's right. That's
you
right.
know. And so I think that's so healthy that's how you start your morning, because how you start your morning has a strong projection on how you live the rest of your day.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's really good. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing.
And you know, I'm a humble person.
Yeah.
I learned how to be respectful, and I'm a person who pays attention to stuff.
Hmm.
And I appreciate everything that I hear people say. And I just sort of live my life around the blessings that I get every single day.
Yeah.
And it's truly, my brother said something to me this yesterday. He says, was it yesterday or today? I think it was today. He says, your birthday's tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
I said, yeah. And I said, if I wake up tomorrow,
Hmm.
it's my birthday,
That's
because that's a blessing to wake up to a new day. You
absolutely.
know, I'm an obedient person, and I just I'm there's a side of me that people don't know. So,
Oh,
you know,
really?
I just, I'm what you see is what you get. This
Hmm.
is this is me, and I appreciate everything that I get, and the love that I get from my family, my brothers and my sisters. They always have stories to tell. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story that that my brother, my number one brother, I call it my big brother. He's 11 months behind me. In Chicago, there was my mom worked two jobs.
Hmm.
And so in the afternoon, we finished our homework or whatever we're going to do, and we come down and sit on the stoop. And so the good humor truck always would come by,
Yeah.
and all the other kids had money. And so they would get their ice cream, right? Well, there was a little candy store down the street, and Mrs. Farnes was the owner of the store.
Hmm.
And I think I may have been 7 or 8 or something like that. I can't remember, but my sister will remember how old I was, and my big brother will too. So I went to Miss Farms and I said, Miss Farms, I need 3 popsicles, and my mom will pay you when she gets home. So the lady gave me the 3 popsicles, and I brought them back, and we sat on the stoop, the three of us, and we had our popsicle. So when my mom came home to pass by the store, Miss Farnes called her, Miss Anderson, you got a bill? And she said, I got a bill? She said, yeah, your daughter came in and got 3 popsicles. Now, back in those days, a popsicle was, I think, 5 cents.
Okay.
And so, Mom, give it a 15 cent, and so every day, so I had run a bill. So I was an entrepreneur, making sure that my sister and my brother and I had a popsicle while the other kids had their ice cream off the Good Humor truck.
That's
But it
good.
didn't matter because we were enjoying our popsicles right there. And my brothers and sister, they always tease me about that.
Mhm.
That who would have thought, that I could go to a store and get 3 popsicles on credit
Right. At such a young age. But see,
at a young age.
the confidence you had was saying, my mother will pay for it. Didn't ask your mom if that was okay with her, if she had budgeted. You were like, oh, she got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
So, it's just we have. I think about those memories of my brother and my sister. We were the three oldest, and the fun that we had. And um, it's made me who I am today. The
Yeah.
change in my life, the change the way I do things, the
Mhm.
change that I share with people, and the love that I have for my sisters and for my brothers or anyone who's in my life.
Yeah.
You'll receive some kind of love coming your way. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
You are definitely one that leads in gratitude. You definitely show your love to all, and it's very much appreciative. Now, when I first became a Zeta, so a girlfriend of mine, she's one of my other sisters. She lives up north by you.
Okay.
My girlfriend Henrietta, she was like, "Why the blue?" And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say this while I make a comment. We're members of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, where our colors are blue and white, royal blue and white. And so that's why, Henrietta, we got on this blue and white tonight. Plus, it's just the best colors combination ever, just so we're clear. But
Hmm.
I remember when I first became a Zeta and my first state meeting, one of my first state meetings, you were Northern California State Director at the time.
Hmm.
And there was some unruliness happening during as you were trying to call it to order. And you had that strong, y'all gonna listen. And it was almost like hush now, but the way you commanded the room. I I was sitting next to one of my sorors, and I said, "I'm not talking." She was trying to ask me. I was like, "Did you not hear?" She said, "Shh, hush, like everybody be quiet." But you made this statement that there's a side that some people don't know of you, and I think that's true. None of us will ever share everything. I think it takes a lifetime to really know a person. However, if there was one thing that you would want people to know about Zakkiyyah Nazeeh, what is that one thing that you want them to truly know? So when they see you, whether in passing, whether it's on Facebook or even in face-to-face interactions, or maybe those who consider themselves close to you, maybe that you would have liked them to know so they can have a new understanding or enlightenment of you, what would that be?
I'm very shy, and people don't believe that.
I was like, no,
But
no.
I am very shy, and as a young person, I always wanted to be invisible.
Mhm.
And so I would create environments where I was invisible. To give you an example, I became a photographer, and I would do weddings, and people don't pay attention to photographers. And I could move around the room, I could get anywhere I wanted to get, and no one could see me.
Mm.
And I was also invisible. But I learned how to be more outgoing through different trainings, being with the host mistresses.
Mhm.
And I've always been in organizations where I provided service. I'm an Eastern Star,
Okay.
and my friend Gloria was in the Eastern Star with me, and she came to me one day and she said, "Okay, you need to be a Zeta." And I was like, "What's a Zeta?" And so I started to study what a Zeta was, and I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool."
Mhm.
And so I joined Iota Delta Zeta chapter, and I've been in that chapter since I came into the organization.
Wow.
But I'm a very shy person, and um, I'll get in my room, and I'm just there. I will, if I'm by myself and I come home and I change my clothes and I turn the TV on, and some of the favorite things that I enjoyed. I'm a cartoon fanatic.
Yeah.
Uh, I I even I did a trivia contest and won
Okay.
uh, about Minnie Mouse, and the question was, who was Minnie Mouse's first suitor?
Mm.
And I was like, oh, okay, I know that. So I answered the question and I won, and they sent me a little, kind of little certificate or something. And I was like, that's cool. But I enjoy sitting and watching cartoons. And so I'm a very sort of quiet person, but at nighttime at 11 o'clock before I go to bed, I watch two segments I shouldn't even say this, but I watch two segments of the Smurf, and then I go to bed.
Okay.
So that, those are things that people really don't know about me, but I'm really a shy person, but I learned to be able to be upfront and to talk and to show who I am. And then when I get home, I'm a totally different person. Now, I see in one of the questions, someone said something about why the blue.
Yeah.
Sorry
Hmm.
if that's dumb. Well, I'll tell you, I think it's Henrietta. Is it
Hmm.
Henrietta Gutierrez? The blue, the royal blue and white are the colors of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And so this evening, when I was asked to be a part of this, I am a regional director, a Pacific regional director, and these are our colors. And so I thought it was just fitting for my title for this evening to be in our sorority's colors. And so that's why the colors, and it's not a dumb question. So those are the colors of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Absolutely. Henrietta is she's a great woman. She serves her children faithfully, her family faithfully. Just awesome, awesome woman overall. And she's up in the Bay too.
Oh, okay. I'll have to find out where you are,
I want to
Henrietta.
say I want to say she's over like in the San Jose area.
Okay.
I want to say that.
That's not
I
too
could,
far from where I
yeah,
am.
I could be wrong.
Okay,
It's been
great.
a minute. But
Yeah.
it's it's so good to hear you share your story because I knew you always loved Chicago stepping.
Yes.
I knew now I'm understanding why you wanted it to be the Smurfs theme song on one of the videos. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, it's what is that girl's name? Megan Trainor. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just a nice song, but I didn't know you loved the Smurfs like that. That's
Yes.
awesome.
But if you listen to the words of that song, it's about a strong woman. We are women because that particular movie of the Smurfs
Mhm.
dealt with the Smurfs. They were all women. There
Yeah.
were no men. And so when I listened to that, I thought that is a perfect song for us because we are strong women. We are talented women. We are humble women, and we are women of strong faith. And
Absolutely.
that's how come I wanted that song. I know people's like, oh, Madam State Director, what you doing? But that was why I wanted that song.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And Henrietta was actually in Sacramento, so I didn't.
Okay,
So
that's
she's
still not far.
yeah, so close there. But it's and then when you mentioned about all about the changes that you've gone through in your life, and um, would you say that each change in your life has been one that positions you for greater? Like since we're on the eve of your birthday, what are you looking to change or to experience a change in this next rotation around the sun?
That's a good question. And the only thing that I can say to that is right now, I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting back with my sorority sisters face to face again if we can, if the pandemic allows us to do that.
Yeah,
Um, but I have to follow. I have to follow God,
yeah,
and I listen, and so then I know which way to go.
yeah.
And so, but right now, I'm just taking it one day at a time, looking for my blessings that I receive each day. Thank you, Marshana. I love you too. Marshana Anderson Sparks is Sora.
Yeah,
Marshana Anderson Sparks, and that's my granddaughter.
absolutely.
Um, but I'm looking for bigger and greater things happening. This world has changed, and it's going to change in a whole different way for everyone in regards to how we see the world, how we move in this world, and the changes that we have to make to survive in this world. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that each morning when I get up and say, God always has something for you,
Yeah.
I'll be looking for it every single day.
Yeah.
And then I know that there is a key for every problem, a light for every shadow, a relief for every sorrow, and a plan for every tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm looking for, and that's how I plan to move forward as we continue to move forward.
Absolutely. It's been an honor and a privilege just to have you on the show on tonight. But I'm gonna tell you, I made sure that folks knew that you were going to be on the show tonight.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
And here's the thing. There's some folks in the comments who want to tell you happy birthday
thank you.
as an early birthday, and they're going to be coming in, and so I'm just going to be just bombarding you because I have known you for 6 years. Been a Zeta
Yes,
for 5, but 6 years.
yes.
And from the moment that I met you, you have been the same person in the sense of loving all the characteristics that you need in a person. You
Mhm.
have been very maternal, very much, let me help you straighten your crown when it's crooked, but yet doing it in a loving way, a good listener. Those are all attributes and qualities that we need. And so we're all about giving flowers to those that can yet hear and smell them. So consider this next portion of this section us giving you your flowers.
Okay,
And
but
as they scroll across the screen, just know that
okay,
we're giving you your
wait.
flowers.
So I do want to say, and I'm so excited. I'll tell you how old I'm going to be in a little bit.
Okay.
Um, but if you could see the doll that's in the back of me,
Yeah.
that's that's a daddy long legs, and that's Nettie.
Okay.
And Nettie is I use Nettie. I was given that by a friend of mine in the junior league when I had some surgery done many years ago. And she sent Nettie and she said, Nettie will take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Nettie will always be there for you. And I keep Nettie close to me because we also have to remember our ancestors.
Absolutely.
We have to call on them because they're there to support us and to keep us and keep us safe. And over here in the corner, I have my drum. And so I play I play my drum because I call and honor the ancestors. And I thank them for all the blessings. And I just keep Nettie very close to me. So I just wanted to share if anybody could see Nettie in the background there,
We
that's who
see,
she is. Yes,
yes,
that's
we see her sitting proudly for sure. So
yes.
some of your fellow Western Regional Director, Brother Knowles, he's wishing you a happy birthday as well. And they're just coming all through. So I'm just gonna start clicking through, and
They
those that
are.
are watching and wishing you a happy birthday.
Thank
I
you.
think it's necessary for us to always remember where we come from. And
Yes,
that's one of the nuggets that I'm taking away from you tonight is never look down on your roots,
that's right.
for they give you the foundation to where you're growing today,
Yes.
and just to see how the journey in your life, the different changes and stages of your life, but how faithful God has been to you, how
Mhm.
he's blessed you, how he's kept you. You said you was going to share us the year. So I think you're about 49. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right, I'll stick with that. I'll stick with that. But I'll share because I'm proud of who I am and I'm proud of my age that Allah has allowed me to get to. And if I wake up tomorrow with the blessing, I'll be 74 years old. So, that I'm
That's
so excited.
awesome.
I'm so excited. Yes. And so, the sorority is going to Ghana next year.
Yeah,
And I paid my deposit because I want to go. And if Allah is willing, I can celebrate my 75th birthday in Ghana.
that
And
would
so,
be
what a blessing that would be. So,
absolutely.
yes. So, That's me. That's who I am.
I love it. I love it. Your chief of staff, Sora Brown, is wishing you a happy birthday. I,
Yes.
we have this has definitely been a wonderful segment and very enlightening. So grateful. I believe it's Sora Hauser. This has been good. Let's see. We got so many coming in.
Yeah, I see them.
Now I see Gwendolyn, and is that family?
That's my sister.
Yeah, that's
That's my
sister.
sister.
And
Yes.
so she loves you much. And so, again, some of the Mikai, Amika Perry is representing tonight, wishing you a happy birthday.
Thank
Henrietta, we might have to put Henrietta in maybe in communication with our Sacramento Zetas. We might
That's
have
right.
to see what
Absolutely.
we can do over
Absolutely.
there.
Hmm.
Henrietta, the blue and white is coming for you, dear.
That's
Um,
right. Yes, yes.
and so your daughter is saying that you did a wonderful job on tonight. And so I'm going to continue to post those. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And so 74 years, you have seen a lot of things in this world, a lot of changes in this world.
Yes.
And some things that somewhat kind of still feel the same, but
Yes.
yet you have hope that it'll always get better. So I'm
Yes.
going to just pause for a moment, and I'm
Hmm.
going to allow you to, if you have any final words that you want to share with someone that might be listening, that might be on that, maybe it's that sister, that brother that might be feeling like they can't move, they can't change, they can't give up. What if you want to take maybe about 30 seconds to a minute and just share something to encourage them? You gave us the mantra to hold on to.
Yes.
This might be for our latecomers. It might be someone who just might tuned in right now. What would you have
Hmm.
for
To stop and listen to what you're saying to yourself,
them?
because what we think is who we are. And if we think in a broader scope, then that changes who we think we are. So if you think that you're having a tough time, just say, no, I'm not having it today, and move forward. And if you want to call me or email me, and I'll help you through that process. But think differently, think
Mhm.
more positively about who you are, and where you can be. And I truly believe you'll feel so much better.
Absolutely. 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 I love that. Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, and I know you have other meetings to get to, and but you are always going to be queen, not just for the day. You're queen, daily queen.
Thank you.
And so we just wanted to stop by, and I appreciate you. Just we want to stop by and wish you happy birthday and all those great loves and hugs towards you. But we just wanted to let you know that you are loved. The phenomenal Pacific region that you have the pleasure of overseeing, not just in during Centennial, our Centennial Regional Director, but as time continues on, we just want to tell you that we love you. We
Thank you.
appreciate your work. We know that it's not easy. And yes, everybody has opinions, thoughts, and feelings of what can be done,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
However, God has put you in this place for such a time as this. And so we appreciate you. We support you. We stand behind you. We're lifting you up because you are our sister, and therefore we are keepers of you as well.
Thank you.
So have
Thank
a blessed and wonderful birthday,
thank you. Thank you.
Madam RD. I call you Mama RD, but you already
Right.
know that. That's just what we do.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right.
But I just wanted to wish you happy birthday. And so for all those that who are tuned in tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for commenting and being a part of the show on tonight. This is what makes Be Healed awesome. It's those who come in and to share their story, as well as those that are sitting out listening and sharing as well. And so we just want to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have not already, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you can get alerts and updates of upcoming shows. And if by chance you have, this is what I'm going to do. I knew I was going to do this at the end. I was like, I know. I'm going to, because it's coming in so high. They're coming in high. I'm just gonna just gonna do the chat overlay over here. So we want to make sure that everyone knows that our upcoming series, The Power of Vulnerability, dedicating specifically to men. It's going to be an awesome time. And so would love to hear each and every one in the comments share as well, and encourage those that are sharing. So join us next week, the same time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, on Facebook Live and YouTube, for just an awesome, awesome time. And so thank you all for being a part of the show on tonight. Thank you, Madam RD. We
You're
love you.
welcome.
We love you. We love you.
Mhm.
Have a wonderful night. If by chance anyone wants to share their show, share their story on the show, feel free to do that by contacting me at behealedwebshow@gmail.com. And I'm looking for great things. I'm taking that mantra. Because I have my little morning routine. I start off in prayer. And I have my key individuals that I speak to in the morning that prepare me for my day.
Yes.
I have that. However, just adding this mantra, I feel like it's just going to be another feather in the cap, another thing to brighten our smile.
That's
We
right.
don't know what's going to happen in these upcoming days. So
Right.
God bless everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. You are loved, you are appreciated, and continue to pursue after the things of God, because He'll never let you down. Love you all, and have a good night.
Good night.